I'm going to introduce Alexandra Heel now. Now, this girl, you're here because of this girl, who, when she was 15, which was what? Yeah, okay. Are there any questions before I do this? Sorry. I told her she'd come in handy. Yeah, the last thing we'll do is announce the name. But I'll mention her again. Alexandra Heel. You're going to hear that name. Anyway, any questions, please? There must be lots. Or not. It's going to take about 2 years and stuff like that, because we have no parking. That's one thing out of the way. And carry on. Any other questions?
It's going to be a single screen, isn't it?
Oh yes, one screen. So you're sitting.
Is it going to be here, or because there are other places downstairs? So
Okay. It's a question about whether it's going to be a single screen, and if so, where is it going to be? You're sitting in the original balcony. This ground here was built on, I don't know, in the 70s sometime, and beneath it is another big screen. You can't. That's the only place you can't get into, because all of this demolition is down there at the moment, so you can't get in. We're going to open this up, so you'll see a full drop, and that will be where the old stores were. So this area and downstairs will be looking at the same screen, which will be against that back wall. That's the original proscenium. Lots of it is going to change, and so we'll have the screen will be massive, and of course the projection box, which I think you've all been to see, those portholes as they're called, they've been lined up, and there's a child's head coming through. It's been lined up. They've been calibrated to hit the screen, so it's absolutely perfect. The whole thing is perfect for going back from one screen. There we go. And those two smaller places downstairs, they're just studded walls, and they'll all be coming out. Anything else? George. Hello? Yes, lady in white?
I remember there being an organ going up and down when I was a kid, came in here to cinema. The Compton organ, where is it?
All right, that's a question about the organ. There was an organ here. Somebody's already approached me about an organ. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. Too late now. Anyway, apparently there is one that was taken out of Hammersmith, and there's some evidence of pipes all behind here. But the actual organ, we don't know where the original organ is at all. But we don't know what we're going to do about the organ, to be honest with you. But we'll think about that as we go. Sorry? I believe so. Hello?
How much recall
that's a question about how much of the original features and the decoration that are we going to be able to recreate. As you can see, there isn't much. Now, if you've been to the Rex, the features in the Rex were already there. They were built into the building in 1938. This was where we're standing now. The building before it was burnt down in 1927. So I think there was a bit more of a kind of industry building of this, is to get the building up, get it used. And so the great features that we have in many other places. Well, I don't think we're in here. We can't see any photographs. If they were painted on the walls. Anyway, we should bring features to it, both deco and modern. It will be stunning by the time we finish. You're sitting in a heap right now. I remember that it is. Any more? I'll come back to this again. Sorry? That's a question about have we persuaded any millionaires to fund it. Strangely enough, we had several offers in the summer that we weren't able to take, unfortunately. The reason we weren't able to take them was because, though they were very nice people, and they did have a few bob, there was a question of how the whole balance of control would be, and it didn't quite work, especially for you people who'd already raised $1 million to buy it. So we've kept it safe, and it'll be independent as the Rex is, run as a kind of a sweet shop, if you like. Very, very nicely done. I don't know. Anyway, there's a guy in black over here.
Is the bar still going to be a bar?
Well, best question now. Do you all hear that? He wants to know where the bar is. They open about 7 o'clock if you want to hang on. And there's somebody right at the back of the black, yeah?
What facilities do you plan beyond the cinema?
Well, you've seen this, but what facilities do we plan beyond the cinema? It's the same bar question, really. You've seen the facilities, you've seen what you come into. The foyer isn't the most magical place in the world, but we'll do what we can with it. And then you can see the office. There's an area as you walk through here. That'll be a refreshment area probably. And downstairs, you saw there was a funny little bar that was left there. That'll become much bigger. So we'll use the space that we're not using for the auditorium for all of those nice things that you can eat and drink. It's a sweet show. So there'll be plenty of stuff, right? We hope anyway. That's it. Man in a check shirt, right?
How many will you hope to see?
Good question.
It was built in 1700, believe it or not. In fact, I'm probably not far off that in here now. 600, we think. The Rex holds 300. We think if we do it the same, it'll be about 600. So there'll be a lot more leg room than you've got here now. And there'll be tables and chairs downstairs.
Please, will you impose a ban on people using their mobile telephones?
Question about mobile telephones. You'll have to ask the tweeter girl about that. I know nothing about mobile phones. Yeah, turn them off. Yep. Does this mean that St Albans won't be building its own civic cinema? I don't know, to be honest with you. They're very supportive of us, and they're very helpful. And it's long-standing, it's not just word lip service. They have to have their own plans. I think they'll probably wait and see what happens with this. Because there will be a full programme. What they worry about is whether there's a full programme for the whole community. And if you look at the Rex programme, it is for everybody, and that's exactly the way we're going to run this. So young and old, but the whole mix of you are here will have opportunities to see the same kind of character. Any more? I'll hang on to you a second. There's a question about do we have plans for the ultimate layout? We don't. We didn't have any plans at the Rex, actually. We used chalk. And then when we didn't like where the line was, we moved it. Because we've got an internal building, we don't have to worry about kind of any external stuff. We've got the building. When we get everything out, we can see the 4 walls and the balcony. We'll know better what we're going to do. I'm going to take one more question, and then we're going to bring.
Are you likely to do like a restaurant like you have at the Rex?
And we like to have a restaurant as we have at the Rex. Unfortunately, the restaurant at the Rex doesn't belong to the Rex. I just want to make that very clear. It was sold off when the building was allocated to. Never mind. Anyway, there's no bitterness here, you understand? Nothing will be sold at the building. It'll all be in one place, and we will have a restaurant and cafes and bars in as much space as we can. Yeah. Right, that's it, I think. Right, this girl's going to stand next to me now. Sorry, Denise.
Just really briefly before Alex comes on, I have a duty to tell you that there is a walk tracing these steps of the guy who actually started it all. Arthur Milbourne Cooper built the Alpha as it was known then in 1908, and the Civic Society are running a walk leaving at 2:30 from the station Ridgemont Road exit. If anyone's interested. Thank you very much. Now on to Alex to do her very, very important job.
I'm going to introduce her before this. She's 16 now, and she was 15 in April last year. She wrote to the local paper and asked them what was happening at the cinema and why it wasn't going to be a cinema. Before that, I think permission had almost been granted, and it had been granted, demolition and the flats to be built. Alexandra asked the question why this was going to happen. what she in fact did was start the whole big storm again, because it had dipped. As soon as we realised there was permission, everybody just said, that's it, we've had it. And then a wonderful thing happened. The recession hit. Great for us, terrible for the development. So the main thing is that Alexander was the first one to start getting people talking to us. We had entrepreneurs and millionaires and people who really wanted to support it. And all of those things all came from her article in the paper in April last year. So I thought it was only fitting that she should announce the name of the cinema. And we believe, well, we don't know, whoever was picked out of the hat might be in the audience or might not be. But it's Alexander's duty who's going to now name it. And therefore, you can shout and scream at her, because I'm getting up. But I must tell you, there were 670, over 670. And there were a lot of phoenixes. I'll tell you that's not going to be one of them. And there were some Kubricks, which is very interesting. And there were lots of other very good names. But we'd be very careful about this name. There was also Big Shiny Jesus, somebody wanted to call it. Sorry, Alex, that's what it's going to be called. Give her a very, very warm welcome.
It's a great pleasure to be able to announce a new name to you today. The name has a very close link to this cinema because the project has been and will continue to be a journey and a quest. And also the name is a word taken from one of Stanley Kubrick's most famous films, thus it's very closely related to St Albans. And the name is... long pause. The Odyssey. And the winner is Jessica Preston.
Jessica, are you here? Are you in the building? I can't see you. Shout if you are. We do have Jessica's email address and her phone number, so we will obviously let her know that she's won.
What was the prize?
Come on, move yourself.
I think. Oh, she didn't even get one.
Go with the magic.
I very much look forward to coming in and getting Odyssey in 2 years' time.
Right, thank you. By all means, if you haven't had a good look around, we're still open for another half an hour. You can do that. And it's just thank you so much for coming. And we'll be opening again, maybe after Christmas. And I just want to again just thank this girl here. Alexander.